Okay, so today I would like to talk to you about debating and critical thinking. And at first, I would like to start off with a small confession. I am real scared. I am stressed because, well, you might say this is pretty natural because I like experience. I am young, and that's the sad reality. But one thing that encourages me that I am not alone in my demise. For there are many other people that are scared and fearing of talking generally. Even in my classroom, for example, there are people that might lose their whose heart starts pumping and who feel the heartbeat in their head even when they stand in front of the class. So this means that there is the problem of public speaking. How many people do not know how to do public speaking, and that's a problem because how can we live in a democracy in case if the people cannot state their problems? How the Minister of Justice mentioned that we should have children within policy making. How can we add children into the policy making if many of them can't tell what are their problems and what are their desires, right? The people that cannot, that have a difficulty doing public speaking might have a difficulty in their life too. I would take again the example of children, since this is the topic of the conference. So, which one, in your opinion? Actually, other example. Okay, would you imagine Greta Thunberg if she couldn't talk? I think no, right? Is there any? Yes, I think no. But I have, maybe not a solution, but thing that might help in minimizing the effects of the problem. And that is adding debating to in schools, teaching children how to argue. So how to do debating? I will talk to you about the British parliamentary debates and the civilized kind of debates, because these are the ones that were taught to me and are one of the world's most world's agreed upon set of rules of debating. Yes. More about the methods. So I'd like to general. In a debate, you need at least 3 people. So one is the government, in the case of the British Parliament system. One is the opposition of the government. And the third one is the judge. Pro-government and against the government speak about the two sides of the main idea, and the judge has to carry out a verdict about who won and, if possible, give feedback to the both sides. If you have, in the real British parliamentary debates, you usually have 4v4 speeches. So there is the first speech on both sides that introduces the topic, states your opinion, and carries out the arguments. In the second speech, you talk about, you expand on the arguments you've made, maybe do some counter-arguments to the other side. And in the first speech, you tie up loose ends and maybe carry out a few final counter-arguments, or maybe even counter-arguments. If you have more people, you have an audience, you might have floor speeches, which are speeches in the end, which is a great mean, in my opinion, to introduce new people, because they are short and they give feedback about the thing, the topic you're talking about. So now that I've talked what the laws of debating, I will now talk about how to do debating. I was taught this kind of system called SEXI. It's S stands for the statement, so you state what you are standing for. E, you expand on the topic, you explain what, why is the problem like this, or why is this not a problem. Next, you give examples, maybe how has this problem been, your solution has been used before, or why this solution does not work and has not worked before. And in our implementation, you might have it, might not, but because it's a really hard thing to implement some of these ideas. But it's good to have how to make, to talk about how to make all of this reality. So there are a few values and then debates and ratings. It's in the same system of salsa. S stands for speaking, about how good you tell other people, how confident, how powerful and mighty is your speech. A stands for arguing. It's how you make ideas on the go, how you make ideas in general too. L stands for listening, because how can you make a good argument if you don't know what the other side stands for? How you make a good counter-argument? How can you avoid so that the other side could make counter-arguments to you? S is synthesizing. It's applying. It's basically judging on the past knowledge that you've had. And A, arranging, is combining everything. I think A was just added so to make the salsa word. So I think we could, since we don't have much time, we could skip these parts because they're kind of boring. So, first one is, these are different debating games that I've like. I'll skim through them. The first one is Switch. It's a game in which you sit in a circle and you're given a topic and you just talk in order about it, give 1-minute speeches. At first pro, and then you switch, and then cons of it. The second game is Bluff, when you write sort of a question, a topic to some person, and you give it to someone random, or maybe you can choose. It depends on what you would like to play, and the other person has to give a speech based on that. Third one is Change the World, which is, in my opinion, the best game to do in a newly founded debate club, since it's the most understandable. Everybody proposes some change they would like to see in the world for usually 30 seconds. Usually in a 30-second speech. And the fourth one, which is my favorite game of debates, is the balloon debate. It's everybody is given a role. So you are, for example, a heart surgeon or president of a banana republic. And you have to, and the balloon is going down all the time. Somebody has to be thrown out. Everybody talks why should they not be thrown out and why the other person should. And in my opinion, it's really this game where you can throw other people out of your friends out of balloons is really fun. So now we could maybe try ourselves how to make an argument. I don't think we have time for a debate, but so let's use the sexy system. We have already a statement that I've chosen. So clauses should exist to ensure women's place in the parliament. Let's expand on it, explain it. Despite women making half of our nation's population, they are still majority in most of the government offices. This causes government to have undemocratic processes that do not involve one part of the society. So, I've forgotten the example. And implementation is kind of simple. You just run it through. You just run a bill through the government, and it becomes reality. So, since now it is going to be we'll have a small pause. You can think, maybe counter arguments to that topic. I'm really glad that this finally ended. Thank you.